After 35 hours on the train across Turkey, we finally reached Kars, a remote city in the far east of the country, close to the Armenian border. At first we had no idea what to expect. We were tired, slightly confused and mostly looking for coffee and food. But Kars turned out to be much more interesting than we expected. Busy streets, friendly people, old stone buildings from its Russian pasts, snowy mountains in the distance, and then just outside town, one of the most atmospheric places we've visited in the world. Welcome to Ani. Once a powerful medieval city on the Silk Road, today it's almost completely silent. Ruined churches, empty city walls, deep gorges, storm clouds rolling over the hills, and just across the valley, Armenia. This episode is about our short stop in Kars before crossing into Georgia, but what we thought would just be a practical travel break became one of the biggest surprises of the journey so far. It's our first day in Kars this morning. We had a bit of a long sleep after that 35-hour train journey. It was very exhausting actually, that train journey from Istanbul to Kars. It's about midday now and we're gonna try and find ourselves a little bit of a coffee now to wake up and a little bit of local food. Already went online and we bought a book, we booked a bus. God, what's wrong with me today? German and Turkish and English all together in my brain. So we booked a bus to Hopa. It's very noisy here in Kars. Wow, it's so noisy here. What is going on here? And anyway, from there we take a minibus to the Georgian border, cross that by foot, and then we have to take another minibus to Batumi. If you want to find out how this plan worked out, then better stay tuned for the next episode. Okay, we arrived at the coffee, but they have only sweets here. So that was recommended to us by the guy in the hotel, and but only cakes. We're actually looking for like a bit more local place with some food as well. So let's find something else.
We walked up and down the town a few times and eventually found a small, nice local restaurant.
We got a nice soup there, and we got some salad, we got some bread, we got some wraps. Oh, that looks good. Homemade ayran. That is always so salty, but it's refreshing.
I think it tastes better than the commercial one.
So I think we found ourselves a nice restaurant, and the guy here is very friendly and speaks English. Look, I got my iskender here. So it's döner meat and some bulgur and some cheese, I guess, or some yogurt. Very good.
What?
Yummy.
I'm happy to not disappoint you.
Do you wrap this normally? Do you normally take it and then you wrap it?
That have bread too. It's pita bread, and you can eat it like that.
Yeah, okay.
But you can eat that too.
And a wrap as well. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah, there's some bread underneath here. Look at that. So the bread soaks underneath the meat. It's actually really good. Perfect, really nice. Honestly, that was the best lamb meat that I've had in Turkey so far. Now look at all this stuff. They got so much stuff for sale here. Like all these nice fabrics. Asian, you should wear one of those maybe. And then we got like tea places everywhere. Pavements here, they're all very broken. It's not quite as well maintained as it is in Istanbul, but this feels more like the real Turkey here. Here is the Kars Castle. Our friend Haitian Park here hasn't brought a hat again. As usual, when we go somewhere where it's hot and sunny.
I'm wearing jeans as well.
Well, at least you don't get a sunburn on your legs then. It's actually quite nice around here in Kars. If you come out here, it's green. Lots of people, lots of stuff happening, and you got the green hills there behind me.
My name is Mihomet. I am
I always find that extremely haunting when the muezzin is singing. Sounds so haunting, doesn't it? Here's the way up to the castle. Here's even a little museum. Okay, so that's the tomb of Father Celal. Looks like there's a dead person in here in this sarcophagus. They really like to have their Turkish flags up everywhere in Turkey. I mean, here on a castle like this, you could expect that they have a flag up on top of it, but you see the flags pretty much everywhere, even from the train when you go through the country. Check this out. Whew. This is the view from up here. We got a, what's this there? We got an old cannon there. And here's the view. There's a nice little river down in Kars as well. A raging river. And all these mosques. But yeah, we can go all the way up to the top of this castle apparently. I can see people up there. Oh, it's very steep to get up to the car. Here's the entrance. And surprisingly, it really seems to be free. Free as in just walk in and drink a cup of tea. There's still snow on the mountain. Didn't expect it to be so tranquil and so scenic actually. I learned how to speak the word properly in Turkish for thank you. It's not teşekkürler like I thought. It's teşekkürler. And what was
Teşekkürler.
teşekkürler? And what is the one you learned?
Merhaba.
That means hello.
Hello.
Hello. Merhaba and teşekkürler. We can speak 2 words in Turkish now. How good is that?
Merhaba Kars.
Check what we got ourselves here. It looks so yummy. I don't know what it is. Looks like a chocolate mud cake or something. It's so nice.
Something you can die for. So soft and moist. So happy now.
They really know how to make some good bakery here in Turkey. So what I didn't know is that Kars actually has a bit of a Russian history. And lots of the buildings here, like this one behind me here, for example, I think is from the Russian area, all these old stone buildings. Looks very interesting around here. I didn't expect that.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
What is your name?
Mark.
Mark.
What's your name?
My name is Berkay.
Berkay.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from New Zealand.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
And you? Kars? People here are very, very friendly in Kars, I've got to say. Everyone likes to talk to us. But there's so much to see around here in Kars.
Kars seems to be a popular place for local tourists, and the streets are full of life. You will find plenty of shops selling fresh cheese and honey. It's surprisingly lively for such a remote town.
Well, so we just went to the bus station here. That's the old bus station. They got two bus stations in Kars. The old one and the new one, which is somewhere outside of town. But earlier I booked a ticket for the Artvin Express, and we just wanted to check if we actually arrived here. And it's got like the Artvin Express ticket office here. Everything is closed. It's Saturday afternoon. This thing is supposed to leave to Hopa on Monday morning at 10 a.m. It says Hopa there, it says Artvin, so I'm pretty sure we're at the right place. Some of these buses here, mini buses, they already had a few accidents. There's a little doggy here too. He's enjoying himself. Very, very dirty, dusty, rubbish. Interesting place. I bet the new bus station looks a lot nicer. That is out of town. That's why they probably built a new one. And now Haitian has disappeared. Haitian, got to be careful where you wander around here, that you don't get attacked by some wild dogs. I thought maybe that would be our bus to Hopa, but luckily ours is that a bigger one.
Good morning, Captain.
Well, good morning everybody. This morning we are going to the ancient ruins of Ani. And there is a tourist bus here in Kars that takes you there at 9 a.m. in the morning. Looks like it's got a few parts missing already. Ani is about 45 minutes outside Kars at the end of a road that doesn't really go anywhere else. On the bus ride, you already get a good feel for the remoteness of this place. We arrived at the Ani ruins. It's not just like a castle ruin or something, it is actually an ancient city. that has completely disappeared. It was also called the city of the 1001 cathedrals or churches. And it was a very important trading route on the old Silk Route. Also interestingly, it is right at the Armenian border. From here you can look over the valley, look into Armenia. This place was actually under Armenian rule for a long time. I thought this place is like very dry and deserty, but it is so green, and all the rivers around Kars, they are full with water. It is amazing how much rain they have in this area. Everyone comes prepared with umbrellas and rain jackets, except us. We didn't think it's gonna rain. Ticket price here is €8 for non-nationals. They always have a different price in Turkey for locals and for tourists. The first thing that hits you when you get here is that you notice the huge size of this place. Around 1,000 years ago, this was the capital of the Armenian Bagratid Empire. And the city of Ani sat at the center of lots of important trading routes on the Silk Road. Once this place was full of soldiers, traders, builders, grumpy neighbors. On one side here is a deep gorge, and on the other side is Armenia. When people arrived at the city, they probably would have come in through this city gate here.
Structure over there, it's like a really like half-cut piece of donuts.
This half church, apparently lightning stroke cut that in half. That is not very reassuring, considering we got a bit of a thunderstorm brewing behind us there, and we can hear the thunder every couple of minutes. Now there seems to be a very well preserved building, this church down there. So Ani is sometimes called the city of 1001 churches. That symbolizes the importance of that being such a religious center. Check out how this rock is anchored in that doorway here. Here's another big church coming up. Places like this have a certain type of energy that you can only experience when you're actually here. I think it's the energy of all these past centuries accumulating here from when it was a big bustling city, right? And from all the conflicts that happened here over thousands of years, and then suddenly it got abandoned. Now this here's the Conquest Mosque, and it seems to be the biggest building that is still standing here in Ani. Imagine all the people that have walked in and out of these gates and walls here over the centuries and walked into these buildings and into these mosques here to pray. If you're quiet, you can almost hear people praying and singing in here still. The Church of Ani is a majestic piece of history, and once all the reconstruction is done, it will hopefully stand there for another couple of centuries and be enjoyable for lots of generations to come. It would be cool if they would do like some sort of medieval festival here, and everyone would be required to dress up in the old clothes that they used to wear.
I'm wearing silk from top to bottom. I'm on the donkey.
I would have to be the peasant and you would have to be the queen, but I probably would rather be the sultan rather than the peasant. I'm really digging this place. I'm so glad we managed to come here today. We arrived at the most southern end of the city, and there's a citadel that's overlooking all the rivers here and valleys and mountains around it. So the most strategic spot for defense and for observation. Whew, quite a steep climb. We made it up to the top of the old Citadel. Down there is an ancient bridge that led to the city. Just crazy. Look at this view. I mean, this scenery is just completely blowing me away. And the fact that just across this gorge is already Armenia.
Imagine that time. Would have been really different to now.
Does it feel like you have goosebumps?
I have goosebumps.
Well, I gotta say that is probably one of the coolest ruins we have been to in our travels, and that is not because of the old stone buildings, it is because of the vibe of this place. I think the fact that it is in this kind of landscape in the middle of nowhere, so unexpected, with all these wild flowers here, and it's just kind of swinging, this place. You can feel it buzzing, humming of energy.
One thing I've learned from this trip is that it's not about visiting the attraction where everyone else goes. It's about connecting with the place. All the streets and buildings that tell stories. And almost no one around, just me and my surroundings. Somehow everything feels more beautiful.
So beautiful.
The sky is very angry in the background. You can hear the thunder rolling through those hills. I haven't seen the lightning strikes yet, so that's a good sign. Looks like the weather is over there somewhere. And we also survived sitting on top of the Citadel unprotected. But the sky is getting angrier and angrier, which contributes to that slightly moody feeling you get here in this place. All right, everybody, that was our experience at Kars and the Ani ruins. We are on our land journey from Europe to Korea, and tomorrow is the next leg of a long day of traveling. We'll be traveling from Kars to the border between Turkey and Georgia, cross the border on foot.
Border crossing is always exciting.
But that's our adventure for tomorrow. Make sure you stay tuned and subscribe if you like this kind of traveling